Okay, so two poems we are looking at today fall in the category of medieval times, which was how long ago? Almost 1,000 years ago, right? Yes, that's right. But first, are you sure these are poems? I mean, I thought poems were shorter. These are more like long stories. I mean, one of them almost all about the other one. The whatever it calls the other one. It's all about fighting and battles. I mean, can both of them be considered to be poems? Well, think back to the very beginning of this course. Remember how we define poetry? In the very broad sense, we say it's written to evoke, to make you, the audience, have some kind of emotional experience through the use of imagery. Some kind of predictabilism, and usually, but not always, there's more than one meaning implied with the words that are used. Let's start with the chanson poetry first. The chanson. Chanson poems became popular in Europe, particularly in France, and the term is actually short for a longer French phrase that translates to songs of these. Now they are called songs of these because, strangely enough, they were written to describe the heroic deeds or actions of warriors knights during conflicts. We don't know a lot about their sources. It still contests our, but we are pretty sure about who the chanson poems were written for. That is, they were written for the knights and the lords, the nobility that they served. The poems were sung, performed by a minstrel. From castle to get singing to his local road and its night. Well, will someone summarize the main features of the chanson poems you read? Them. Well, there's a hero and a knight who goes to battle, and he is inspired for his courage, brave, and loyalty. Loyalty to royalty serve his country and his fellow warriors in the field. He's a skilled fighter, willing to face the most extreme dangers, sacrificial, willing to sacrifice anything and everything to protect his king and country. Okay, now we given that the internet audience for these points were nice and rose. What can we say about the purpose of chanson poetry? What kinds of feelings were it meant to provoke? I guess it must be really appealing to those knights and rose who were listening to them. Hearing the songs probably made them feel more patriotic or made them feeling like nothing to serve their countries and whatever way they could. Good. We've got a pretty good picture of what the chanson hero was like. Now let's compare that to the hero in the other poems. The other poem is an example of what's called romance poetry, and the hero in the romance poem was also a knight. But what made the knight in romance poetry different from the knight in chanson poetry? Well, first, the purpose of the hero's action was different. The hero in romance poetry is independent, purely solitary in a way, not like the chanson poet, who was always surrounded by his fighting companions. He doesn't engage in conflict to protect his rose or country. He does it for the sake of adventure, to improve himself, to show he's worthy of respect and love for his lady. He is very conscious of the particular rules of social behavior that he has to live up to somehow. And all of those actions are for the purpose of proving that he is an upright, more well-mannered, well-behaved individual. You may have noticed that in chanson poetry, there isn't much about the hero's feeling. The focus is on the action, the deeds. But the romance poetry describes a lot of the inner feelings, the motivations, psychology, you could say, of a knight trying to improve himself, to better himself. Love of woman. What is Catherine this difference? Well, while digging into the historical concept tells us a lot. Romance poetry emerged a few generations after chanson, and its roots were in geographical regions of France that were calmer, where conflict wasn't central to people's life. The more peaceful times meant there was more time for education, travel, more time for reflection, and as a name for romance poetry that's often synonymous with it is troubadour poetry. Troubadours were the authors of the new romance poem, and we know a lot more about the troubadours than we do about the chanson authors, because they often had small biographical sketches added to their poems that gave social status, geographical location, and a small outline of career. This information wasn't particularly reliable because they were sometimes based on fictitious stories, great adventures, or the scrapped together from parts of different poems, but there is enough to squeeze or infer some facts about their social class. The political climates have settled down enough so that the troubadour has actually been able to spend most, if not all, of their time creating, crafting, or composing their love songs for their audiences. And yes, these poems were also songs. Many troubadours were able to make a living being full-time poets, which should tell you something about the value of that profession during the medieval times.